Hello, and welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show, formerly known as the Omnia Sol Art Show Live. This is the new episode in the new format, whereas before the show was a live show that streamed to Twitch and then was put on Patreon. This show is now, it's still going on Patreon, but it's also going on YouTube for everyone to see and enjoy. The audio will be going on various podcatchers. Hopefully your favorite podcatcher. I believe I'm on most of them now. The main reason for switching up the format is that although the idea of streaming through Twitch is very cool and very fun, the video quality just looked like shit no matter what I did. The video quality was never what I wanted it to be like. And also, I don't think that this show fits in with Twitch. There's too much competition. Not that there's not competition on YouTube, but it's like I feel like I have a better chance at finding my audience by making this free to the public on YouTube, and hopefully people reach out and support it through Patreon than I do going through the standard Twitch model, because there's so much going on Twitch. It's just not the right format for the type of show that I am trying to create. So welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show. You can call it TOSAS for short if you'd like. It rhymes with Gnosis, kind of like that. It's kind of fun. But this is a glitch art show that it's where I take different VHS tapes, and soon will be more than just VHS tapes, video that I take, and I glitch it through circuit bending analog video glitching techniques. And so if you like the podcast element, you can watch it with the audio or listen to the audio on your favorite podcatcher. Or if you prefer just the video, you can always mute my voice and throw on your favorite music, and you got yourself a homemade hour-long music video going once a week. So welcome to the show. I hope that everyone is having a great night. We got Thanksgiving coming up this next week, which unfortunately I will not be traveling. I live in Chicago and cases have been spiking of coronavirus. So we're going to stay safe and stay home, and hopefully one of these days we'll get a vaccine and we can see our family again. Hopefully. It's funny. One of the segments on this show is the card of the show, where I read a tarot card, and I like to think that it applies to whoever is listening to the show or watching at home. I like to say, this is your tarot card, this is your fortune. Last week's card definitely ended up being my fortune, because it was I'm blanking on what card it was right now, but the meaning behind the card all had to do with fruitless journeys, and I think it directly applies to this upcoming Thanksgiving in the sense of like bought my train ticket and then fortunately got the train ticket protected, because I had to go back and refund it because I'm not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna still try to eat some pie. Gonna try to make some of my favorite Thanksgiving dishes to feel a little bit at home, and doing a family Zoom call, but will not be doing the traditional Thanksgiving weekend. Tonight we are glitching a variety of different nature documentaries on VHS. I know that in the past on the live episodes, if you go back, and those will all still be on behind the Patreon paywall. So if you want to support on Patreon, patreon.com/Omnia Sol Art. But on past episodes, we've done VHS tapes, and the bots let me just tell you folks, the bots on YouTube are incredible. They are smarter than most human beings, because even though this video is the video signal is going from a VHS through a VCR through a Fluxus Duo video processor onto onto an old school CRT TV, and then filmed with a different camera off the CRT. But even that was enough that the YouTube bots could figure it out. Like one week I glitched a VHS of Twin Peaks and it figured that out. And then I glitched a Gundam anime and it figured that out. And with that one, it blocked it in all of Japan because the video is still owned by Bandai TV. I like to think, and if there are any lawyers that listen who want to back me up on this, I like to think that the project I'm creating counts as fair use, because it's not like people are watching my show to catch up on Twin Peaks. They're watching it to see the source material of Twin Peaks destroyed and created into a new film project. Hopefully with these more obscure nature videos, it won't get flagged. This YouTube channel is not big enough to try to monetize it anyways yet, but hopefully it won't get flagged. But in the future, I'll be doing more of my own video setup so going to be some more kind of experimental film recording. I would also, audio wise, I want to try out some new things. Maybe throw some auto tune on this. Maybe include more music, turn it into, because it is called the Omnia Sol Art Show. So the emphasis should be on art over just your standard talking podcast. At least in my opinion, that's the future of this show, where I want to take it. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining in with me with this first episode. I think we got a great episode for you tonight. Just the visuals look incredible compared to the bullshit that I was getting through Twitch. So this is the new format. Hopefully people tune in. If they don't, it's no sweat off my back, in the sense that like I would only have an average of one viewer on Twitch anyways. So hopefully I can get at least one viewer from Twitch to drift over. But I think there'll be a pretty good way of like the way of just uploading it to YouTube for anyone to watch, I think will be a good way to go about it. Because now people who are interested in the show but can't tune in on Sunday nights, or can't afford to, don't have the money right now to pay for the Patreon, can see the show and get a taste of what it is. And hopefully tune in. We'll get more guests on the show. I still have a phone number that, although we're not doing live, can't answer calls live in this current format. But I do still have a phone number if anyone wants to call in and leave a message that I can play on the show. That number is 262 612 3069. I believe that's the number. Let me double check on that real quick to make sure that I am not misleading the folks at home with a fake number. So let me just look that up real quick. Yes, 262 612 3069. So if you feel like calling in, you got a question, you want to get your tarot read, call in, leave me a message. I'll play it on the show, and we will have a fun time. Tonight, one of my favorite segments of the show, what am I drinking tonight? Tonight I am drinking a no mosa, which is a kind of like a mimosa without alcohol. But I'm drinking, it's a orange mango juice mixed with a strawberry bubbly. It is delicious. It's a little nutritious because of the vitamin C from the orange juice, but it is mostly delicious. It's mango orange juice with strawberry bubbly. Can't recommend it enough, folks. If you like refreshing drinks, you're going to love this. All right, what do we have next on the radar? All right, so re-listening to the audio that I recorded, I noticed that it was a little more breathy than I would like. A lot of my breathing in and out was picking up on the microphone, and also the audio seemed to be going more in the red than I was like. So I moved the microphone back a little bit from my mouth, and this is a test to see how this sounds. I hope that it sounds good. We'll see. Yes, we did it, folks. It looks a lot better. It sounds a lot better, in my opinion. So we are going to keep the microphone where it is. I probably need some breathing lessons so that my breathing doesn't show up on the show, because now I'm super hyper conscious of it. Every time I breathe, I think that it is picking up on the microphone. I think it's annoying and distracting. I don't know if it's actually the case. If it is, let me know. I will figure out how to learn how to breathe better. My nose is always a little clogged, so it's always a little harder to breathe out of my nose. Unfortunately, just I've always had some sinus issues, allergies, and whatnot. But we are going to go ahead and play our first song of the night. This is a song that if you are on the Patreon, you've heard in previous episodes, but it is a song called Untitled or Untitled 2 by You Loves. And you can find this artist at, let me double check and get the Bandcamp correct. I believe it is. Fuck. Okay, I gotta stop recording and figure out what this Bandcamp is, because I thought it was one thing and then I Googled it and that was not what it was. All right, so you can find this artist and go support her music and buy it. And if you go support this artist. Great music, great. If you like ambient, this is your jam. But the artist is You Loves, and it's spelled ulvz.bandcamp.com. I will also have the link in the show notes if that's easier for you. So go check it out. The song is Untitled 2 by You Loves, and we'll be back with you after the jump. And we are back. Shout out to you, loves, for providing some music for the show. If you are a musician and you want your music featured on the show, go ahead and send me an email or comment on the YouTube video below. Find a way to, or, DM me on Instagram or Twitter. Find a way to reach out to me. If I don't reach out to a comment or DM, then shoot for the email, because hopefully that will go through and I'll see that. My email is Omnia Sol Art, OMNIASOLART and we'll get your music played on the show. So if I like it, go ahead and do that. It is time for my favorite section of the show, which is, if you listen to before on any of the live episodes, you know that my favorite section of the show is Card of the Show, where I read a tarot card. And if you're watching or listening to the podcast, this tarot card applies to you. Also, if you have a question that you want the tarot answered, reach out to me. Call in to the phone number that I put on the show earlier, or go ahead and DM me your question, and I'll read a tarot card in association with it. See if we can figure it out for you. Also, we have gotten to the point in the video where I glitched a fireplace, and this was a great VHS from my late Aunt Vonda, it's like an hour long of just a fireplace, which is beautiful. Just sets the atmosphere so well. Gotta love it. So rest in peace to my dear Aunt Vonda. All right, time for the card of the show. So let me shuffle these real quick for you. That was shuffle number 1. Here is shuffle number 2. And shuffle number 3. Coming up, shuffle number 3. All right, so the card of the show is the 9 of Cups, which this is a great card. It's a guy with a really cool hat sitting in front of his 9 cups that he has on a shelf behind him. I like to think of it as like these are his achievements, these are his awards. This is what he's put in the work, and he's got the awards to prove it. And he's a little braggadocious, a little showing off his success. So the actual definition of the card, according to my tarot app, is, let me pull it up real quick. So the 9 of Cups is material success, satisfaction, the good life, physical and material well-being. This is the card of fulfilled wishes. All the good things you wanted in life are on their way to you. Money, property, and good health are all at your fingertips, there for the taking. You can rest assured your future is secure. So if you have you are working on a project, it looks like you got some success coming your way, so be on the lookout for that. Congratulations to you on your future success, and I hope that this card brings you joy, happiness, contentment, that your future is secured. So go on out there and make it happen. You got this, buddy, all right? You got this. I believe in you. The tarot believes in you. Your ancestors believe in you. The gods and planets, or whatever cosmology you want to believe in, believes in you. So go out, make it happen. Let's get this bread, as the saying goes. Hope you enjoyed that segment. It was Card of the Show. I really got to get some auto-tune on this podcast. I think my I not to sound pretentious about my own voice, but I already think that my voice sounds delicious and buttery. But I think if we really want to live deliciously, I got to get some fucking auto-tune on this shit, because that shit would sound incredible. All right, folks, I am not going to lie. I am excited about the future of this show. Just recording this on on Adobe Premiere where I'm editing the video is just so much easier, so much more relaxed than trying to do a live show, trying to be live entertainment for viewers. I feel like this show of pre-recording it is going to allow me to make the best, for lack of a better word, product as possible, but the best show as possible, the best podcast, the best video as possible. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope that you stick around with me on this journey. I think we will occasionally do a live show. I mean, although it looks like shit going live compared to the pre-recorded video, I still have the ability to go live. So I think we will still do events. Maybe I'll do more live events of just straight up like playing music on the show, because who fucking cares if it gets muted by Twitch? Twitch is going to mute stuff that shouldn't even be muted. For instance, I played some Nine Inch Nails that is it's in the Creative Commons. It's meant to be used for podcasts, and they muted it. Even though it's completely fair use because it's in the Creative Commons, they don't care. They'll mute anything that they feel like muting. So, but as far as live shows goes, who knows? Maybe I'll do some video DJ sets, keep the Twitch channel around. But as far as the Omnia Sol Art Show, TOSAS, I think that this is the best case scenario of just putting this shit out on YouTube for anyone to view, anyone to watch at home, anyone to listen on their podcatchers. This show is for the people. This show is for everyone. So there, obviously, I would still love support on Patreon. If you like the show, please consider donating $1. That will give you access to all the live episodes, all the bonus episodes, as well as early access to my comic strip ZZZ. I didn't mean to turn that into a plug segment. I'm just getting excited. I'm watching this video of this little turtle trying to make it to the ocean, and just having a grand old time on the Omnia Sol Art Show. And I hope that you are enjoying the show as much as I am. I am snacking on some Japanese snacks tonight. I got these like, I thought it was Pocky, but it's not Pocky, but it's a smoky pretzel cheese sticks. Very crunchy and delicious. Got some grape gummies. Got these this Christmas corn snacks that taste like pizza, and I also got these cheesecake flavored Kit Kats. I'm just snacking away, having myself a little Japanese snack party over on the show tonight, and I am pumped for the future. So the next song we are going to go ahead and play on the show is by a band that I love. I hope you love too. The band is called Noiseland. You can find them on Bandcamp at noise-land.bandcamp.com. The song is on the EP Harsh Realm, and the song is called Narcolepsy Sleepover Mix. And a little bit about this band, the bassist of the band is a dear friend of mine, Mitch Mitchell, who he has a show called the Mitch Mitchell Variety Hour that you can find on the YouTube. I believe there's like 3 or 4 episodes. Don't hate me if I'm wrong about that, but I believe it's coming back. I don't know when, but be on the lookout because it's a great show. It's way funnier than my show. It's more planned out, and my show is more like off the cuff. Me talking about whatever's going on in life and playing music. Mine, it's funny because like with the video, you'd think my show would be more avant-garde, but if you want to talk about avant-garde, his show is the vanguard of the avant-garde. Not to sound too pretentious, but check out his show. Check out his band, which I'm going to play next, and we will be back with you after the jump. These episodes are usually going to be around an hour long. This episode is going to be, I think, around like 40 minutes long because I got the footage that I got, and this episode's going to be 40 minutes long. In the future, the episodes will be hopefully around an hour long. And I hope to start with the new format. I hope to start having guests because I don't have to worry about like dropping calls on live broadcasts or anything like that, since I can go back and like clean up audio and whatnot later. So yes, enjoy this song. Once again, Noiseland, Narcolepsy, Sleepover mix. And we'll be back with you after I don't know where the expression after the jump came from, but I like it. But after the song, after the jump, whatever you want to call it, we'll be back after the song. All right, folks, welcome back to my beautiful voice. That was, of course, the band Noiseland, noise-land.bandcamp.com. Check them out. Show them some love on the Bandcamp. All right, so it is time. It is time for a section of my show, which I started on. I believe I started on the last live episode, which you can find on patreon.com/Omnia Sol Art. But we are going to go ahead and read a page from the Tao Te Ching. This is by Lao Tzu, but this is the Ursula K. Le Guin translation, a book about the way and the power of the way. I am recording this on the 23rd of November. So last week we did, it wasn't recorded on the 11th, but it was just 11/11 kept popping up because I had two friends with the birthdays on the 11th. And it was the 11th month. So we had done 11. Today we're doing 23 because it's the 23rd. So I'm just going to pick the similar to the tarot where you shuffle the cards and pick a card. I'm going to pick a random section from this book and read it and see how it applies. Hopefully it applies well to your life, give you some good advice to go off of. So number 23, nothing and not. Nature doesn't make long speeches. A whirlwind doesn't last all morning. A cloudburst doesn't last all day. Who makes the wind and rain? Heaven and earth do. If heaven and earth don't go on and on, certainly people don't need to. The people who work with Tao are Tao people. They belong to the way. Is it Tao or Tao? Call into the show. Let me know if you prefer it pronounced Tao or Tao. I think it's Tao, but it's spelled with a T. So from now on, I'm going to pronounce it Tao. So I'm going to start that paragraph over. My apologies. The people who work with Tao are Tao people. They belong to the way. People who work with power belong to power. People who work with loss belong to what's lost. Give yourself to the way, and you'll be at home on the way. Give yourself to power, and you'll be at home in power. Give yourself to loss, and when you're lost, you'll be at home. To give no trust is to get no trust. So there you go. That is your, I don't have a name for this section, but that's your Taoism. That's your Taoism of the week. So hope you enjoyed that new section of the show. Got a funny little antidote. I don't know if it's an antidote. Antidote. Got a funny little story. Today I went to the park. I didn't know what I wanted to eat, and it was not breakfast time anymore. It was definitely lunchtime, but I still hadn't had breakfast. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to find something to eat on the walk, and then I'm going to go to the nearest park and sit down and eat it in the park. So I ended up getting I live in Chicago, so I ended up getting a classic, a staple of the Windy City. I ended up getting an Italian beef. I got sweet peppers. Next time I'm going to get Giardino. I just wasn't feeling the spice today. Went with the sweet peppers. Got it dipped, though. You got to get it dipped. And so I got my sandwich and fries and drink, and I walked to the park and I sat down. And granted, I am 30 years old, and although at times I wish I looked different than I do, for the most part, if I don't have somewhere specific to go, I don't really care what I look like. So I walked out of the house, I was wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt and like an oversized t-shirt and shoes. You know, I look kind of grubby. I was in sweats. But yeah, I walked to the park, sat down on the bench, started eating. And this couple pulls up in a pickup truck, and a woman gets out of the pickup truck, and she's got like sanitary rubber gloves on. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I wonder what they're up to. And they pull out a cooler out of the truck and proceed to pull out a styrofoam box, like a packed lunch and like a soda, and walk it over to me, because I think that they thought that I was, I don't think homeless is the right term anymore. I think it's unhoused. We should interview some unhoused people and see what they think on the subject. Maybe they think the term unhoused is not necessary and they prefer homeless. Who knows? Maybe I should reach out to the unhoused community and see how they feel about that. Anyways, they thought that I needed a lunch, even though I was clearly like sitting there eating a sandwich because I was on a park bench eating a sandwich. And I was not offended. I was just like, oh no, I'm sorry. I don't need that. Thank you though. But I just thought it was funny because it's like, yeah, I looked like grubby, but I wouldn't like, no one look like, I don't know. It's hard. Like no one looks, it's hard to, it's like, it's judgmental to say someone like looks homeless, but it's like, it's weird that we've gotten to the point where you can't like sit on a park bench and eat a sandwich in your sweatpants. But at the same time, you know what? At the same time, I am happy that these type of people exist. Like I was not like, if I was a different type of person, I might've been offended, but I'm not offended to be read as unhoused, even though I do have an apartment. But the point I want to get across is that I'm glad that these people exist, that there are people out there showing solidarity, showing mutual aid, and getting food to people who need it. And that, I mean, that's the main reason I turned down the food, even though it was a nice gesture, is because like I didn't need it. I already had my meal, and there are people who are going without food. And I just want to give a big shout out to those people who offered me food, because it honestly like brings like, not to sound corny, but it kind of brings a tear to my eye that despite how this pandemic is going, despite the government showing their ass both on the Democrat and Republican side of not helping, like they really gave us $1,200 and said, fuck off. The government does not care about you. They would rather you die than help you in the middle of a pandemic. But there are still everyday working people out there bringing meals to people in need. And that is beautiful. That is what solidarity looks like. That is what mutual aid looks like. So shout out to those people who offered me food today. There is still goodness in the universe, despite what our government wants you to think and what our capitalist system wants you to think. There are still good people in the universe. That's the main thing I want to get across. And I think it kind of goes along with this, the reading of the day is like, you know, people who follow the way belong to the way. People who follow power belong to power. Don't be a person who belongs to power. Find the way, find your way, and belong to that. That's my little 30-second soapbox, little story. And I just want to say that I love you all. And yeah, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for watching the show. And thanks for listening to my little story about my day. I feel like I am slowly but surely becoming the Harvey Picar of podcasts, where I put in little stories about my everyday life, because that's the thing. If you know Harvey Picar's work at all, he wrote the comic book American Splendor, which he was coming up in a time when underground comics were made by folks like R. Crumb, and a lot of it was like counterculture, hippies taking drugs and making comics about their weird experiences. And he was a file clerk, and he collected jazz records, and he's like, everyday people like me deserve to have their stories told too. Like, I have interesting things that happen to me. And so he started making he was basically the first, like at least the first American version of a slice of life comic, and went on to influence so many indie creators. Cause that's the thing, is like, you write what you know. He wrote what he knew, and it's fucking gold. It's fucking gold. If you're a writer, you know, you probably already like draw from what you know, but you know, it never hurts to like share your voice and share your story and let that story be known. All right, folks, we are coming up on the end of the podcast. I just want to say we have a very special thank you to all the folks that tuned in, watching on YouTube, all the Patreon patrons supporting the show, and a very special shout out and thank you to the musicians who had their music on the show. ULoves, ulvz.bandcamp.com, and Noiseland, noise-land.bandcamp.com. Go show them some love. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next week on the Omnia Sol Art Show, also known as TOSAS. Rhymes with Gnosis.